Honorable Mundubile on his deserved success.
Akashala kuli vena namba kamu ni moga kutira kuli ba Mundubile mwabombe kabili congratulations
on his deserved success.
Kwa watira kwano makuishiwishe chintu bwingiti achitika kulusaka akashala kuli vena namba kamu ni moga kutira kuli ba Mundubile mwabombe kabili congratulations.
By the same token, may I extend
Hello there, good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning to Conversations at 1. And we are live on Crown TV this afternoon, and it happens to be the 3rd of March 2026. So good afternoon to you, and as you go ahead enjoying your lunch, remember that you are also obliged to contribute or give us your thoughts regarding what we are looking at today. Now, what are we looking at? We're looking at a very hot topic in the country, and we're saying, has Chifumu Banda given FDD to Mundubile? And we want to hear your thoughts regarding this. What do you make out of this? Has Chifumu Banda given FDD to Mundubile? Now, this afternoon, we go into an explosive edition of Conversations at 1. And indeed, they say that in politics, there are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. But today, the interest has a new name, the Special Purpose Vehicle, which is the SPV. And less than 6 months before we head to the polls in August 2026, the Tonse Alliance has dropped a communique, and the Forum for Democracy and Development, the FDD, has officially anointed as the vessel to carry the alliance into battle. But while Chifumu Banda, the man that you're seeing on the screen, holds the keys to the party, the shadow of Brian Mundubile and the BA-mate faction looms larger than ever over the driver's seat. Our question this afternoon is this a strategic masterstroke for the unity, or has the FDD just been swallowed by the PF movement? And indeed, is Chifumu Banda a willing partner, or is he merely handing over the keys to a house he can no longer maintain? And today, we strip back the legal jargon and look at the raw power play. And Sir Joe Chomba joins us on Conversations at 1, as always, to give us a better understanding on this topical story, as well as all those issues that are happening on maybe making it to the front page as of today. Sir Joe Chomba, good afternoon.
Thank you very much. You are a wonderful special purpose vehicle.
You know, now we're used to that. The SPV. We're used to that. You know, these are things that we never even used to think of. But now, it's been championed and we're following. And even people, I'm sure they know it better. They understand it better.
Yes, it's a very telling statement, but with a lot of caution, released by the Secretary General of the Tonse Alliance. Yeah. That is Dr. Chris Zumani Zimba. But while they have picked on the FDD as a special purpose vehicle, there is precaution to it that other members of the alliance can also apply, because I did explain in one of the programs that you need to have a constitution, a party constitution, which provides for one, whether you can pick a presidential candidate, or whether you are going to have a conference or a convention to elect actually the president. But in this case, the Tonse Alliance seems set. That is Mr. Brian Mundubile is a presidential candidate. And Mr. Chifumu Banda, at the Tonse Alliance meeting, he was elected as vice president of the same grouping. Yeah. So are they going to maintain that? What is the feeling of the members of the FDD? Do they accept that these changes are going to be made? So that is where now the precaution comes in. Yeah.
Interesting. And of course, we should be picking your cause later on. but you can start as well, giving us your thoughts regarding what we're looking at, or the topic of topical issue that we have, and as of today. But quickly enough, let's go straight into looking at the newspapers as of today. And we get to see the front page in different newspapers, the stories that we're running with as of today. The Daily Mail, it is running with councillors back HH, okay? And of course, that was yesterday. We did see President Hakainde Hichilema converging or meeting with, councillors across the country. So councillors are back HH, and President Hichilema urges councillors to take duties seriously as they are grassroots leaders. More of it is that ECZ hasn't allocated any constituencies yet. That's according to Zalomis. And the government orders Avich to check entire Chingola Kasumbalesa Road. And war in Gulf worries HH. All right, so these are some of the stories that you're going to find in the Daily Mail. So George, maybe we go with councillors backing HH. Yesterday we did see the councillors endorsing President Hakainde Hichilema ahead of this year's election.
Yes, we have reached a period. In fact, I did hear you say 6 months before the election. Yes, the election. But 2 months from now, there is another hurdle. Yeah. That is of nomination, because you need to have qualifications. One of them, if you are an MP, you need to have 15 members to support you. Councillor, you need 9 members to support you. For president, it's 1,100 in each of the provinces. So those are some of the things that people go into. But again, alliances are good in terms of, oh, I support this presidential candidate. The next will be, I support this member of parliament. Because that's how people, get the votes. But the caution is, even if there is backing from councillors, and the UPND would feel nice, oh, councillors are backing us and all those things. The most important thing is to ensure that the votes, the backing from councillors and members of parliament translate into votes. Are they going to cast their votes, or they are playing to the gallery? So now that depends on your performance and what you have done in the last 5 years. So that makes good headlines, and the paper can sell. Obviously, members of the UPND must have bought the newspaper. So let's wait and see at nomination time and also at voting time. Remember, the campaign period the official campaign period hasn't started. When the presidential candidates fill in their nomination papers, and members of parliament, mayors and councillors, that's when the Electoral Commission of Zambia is going to announce in May. Oh, the valid nominations are, then they are going to name the presidential candidates, members of parliament, councillors, mayors, and all those things. So it's an interesting period. We have gone into gear 5, too early, but it's interesting.
Also on the same front page of the Daily Mail, there's that story by ECZ saying ECZ hasn't allocated any constituencies yet. Maybe a clarification on that, Sir George.
People are quick. They don't want to follow. That's why I've always insisted. You see, even if the Electoral Commission of Zambia has just drafted the Electoral Process Act, I did say that the job now remains with the Ministry of Justice. The draftsmen and women are the ones who are supposed to cement all those things before they go to Parliament. Now, with social media, we have come so quick to write things on social media because you want the Electoral Commission of Zambia to react. In a democracy, you can't stop somebody from expressing themselves. But as a media house, we have a responsibility to tell the people the truth. What has happened actually right now after the district delimitation meetings is the Electoral Commission of Zambia is now going into provinces to get the final submissions in terms of which constituency can be subdivided or which one will be left the way it is. And all these things will be gazetted around April 15. So people should wait. Is the Electoral Commission of Zambia going to listen to their submissions to create 70 constituencies, or maybe their constituencies will be subdivided? At the moment, what I can encourage Zambians, the voters, is use your phones to verify whether your particulars are okay. Or if there are mistakes, you can go to a polling station where you registered, and that is actually corrected. The other thing is, there are people who would ask, what else can I do? If you believe you are not going to be in the same constituency as the last time, you can actually transfer and go to where you want to vote from at this particular moment. That is between yesterday and the 8th. So take advantage instead of no, nikutali kwa mene nzavotela and all those things. So it's very important that you follow through. There are no constituencies at the moment.
Okay.
The 70 will come, but that is after provincial consultations.
Interesting. Let's have a look at another paper on the screen. Remember, you are free to react to these stories that we're displaying in different newspapers, as well as the one that we have on the screen, which is has Chifumu Banda given FDD to Mundubile, and want to get your take. We have the mass newspaper, and it is running with Free Membe Lungu Body. Ichilema must allow the family to bury ECL. That's according to Luinda. So Free Membe Lungu Body. Hichilema must allow the family to bury ECL. Okay, so that's the screaming headline there. Also, down there says the universities hotspots of sextortion, and Zambia on edge as war sends oil prices up. That's according to expert. And Makebi blasts Muti over ECL burial. So George, there's this fear now that yes, the fuel prices in Zambia dropped just this very month, but because of what is happening in the Gulf, we're seemingly going to see the upswing of prices in terms of fuel prices and whatnot. What is your take on that? Zambia on the edge as war sends oil prices up. That's according to expert as well.
Zambians should get worried. Maybe not this month of March,
Okay.
Because we have this monthly price. But what has happened is that the war is affecting the area where most of the ship actually pass in terms of bringing oil to Zambia. And since we are dependent on oil, and people don't want to use bicycles, when you are in China, you find a lot of bicycles, and all those things. If you want to use, if you go to East Africa or you are in West Africa, you find a lot of people getting on bikes, which consume little fuel. But since every one of us would like to use a vehicle,
Yes.
The price, first of all, we must think about the people who are being killed, casualties and all those people. But that will affect Zambia differently in terms of there is no way, even at the sea, on the sea, there are people who control the sea actually. If they demand money, it's like the cowboys at stations. Yeah, to pass and drum my way and all those things. So there are these stories where the sea is controlled by pirates and all those things. So if they want your ship to be delayed, they can actually cause the ship to be delayed. And if they pay something, as the ship comes, the authorities will actually say, we'll pass on the cost to the consumer. And that is where we get affected as Zambia. We can only think about oil from grass in Chama, where we are told we can make actually oil from grass. But that project did fail. So what we can say is at the end of this month, depending on if oil comes, I remember there was a statement which was issued by Minister of Finance where they said we wanted a consistent supply of fuel for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that has worked. But if it hasn't worked, then Zambians can anticipate oil prices to to go up. And you know that when the price of fuel goes up, everybody will be saying, new fuel and all those things. And these have got a political implication when these things are not explained properly about the war and the implication. There are so many companies. We have agreements with Iran in terms of what they want to do. It's not only oil, but also the energy mix that we talk about in terms of solar and other renewables which we are supposed to use. So the war would disrupt how things are done in Zambia in terms of transportation, also the projects that can come on board. So those are the things that Zambians should look for or look forward to in terms of experiencing negatively.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have another paper on the screen, and remember, you are obliged to comment on these stories, and this is Conversations at 1. We do have the Daily Nation. It is running with I saw ECL's body. That's according to Somaili. Indeed, that story, I believe, was quoted from Crown TV's interview that we had on Sunday. And coming down there says a correct human rights record first Kateka, and says this is necessary before Zambia is readmitted to the United Nations Human Rights Council after losing its seat last year. Okay, Speaker, offside in Chawama ruling, Tasila contends rather. Okay, maybe Sir George on Tasila's remarks there.
Speaker, that is a court case. She's in court actually challenging the declaration of her seat vacant. We are yet to hear what is going to happen. What the case does is to create a precedent in terms of this is what the speaker can do, this is what the speaker cannot do, or this is what is supposed to be the way forward. So when you go to court, you just want to place it on record that this is what happened. Coming to seeing the body, all of us, we have been anxious to see the body. I've been trying to get, if you remember, there was a notice of appeal. That is the family of Edgar Lungu. But the reasons for the appeal, I've been trying to get hold of them. And they seem to be, nobody's talking about them. Because the Attorney General is supposed to react. So whether we have seen the body or not, I think this is where things are coming in terms of heating up. The family, according to the documentation, if they don't appeal, then they'll bear the costs of the lawyers for the state and their own lawyers. So that's what is delaying the matter at the moment, to know actually the way forward. So the Lungus are in the Supreme Court at the moment. It's the state which is actually on the back foot in terms of waiting for the reason for the appeal. If they won't appeal, then Zambians will see a breakthrough in terms of, now the family and the Lungu can still talk. But since there is that notice of appeal, we can't predict what is going to happen. Good for Reverend Sumaili if she has seen the body. She's the first one actually I've heard talking about seeing the body. Others go to South Africa and come back and they don't tell the story after that. But the most important thing is to ensure that our 6th president actually is buried. He was a president for all of us. But since the matter is in court, we don't know where it will fall or how the discussion will go about.
Indeed.
Just a correction. The Human Rights Council, UN, Zambia wasn't booted out last year. It wasn't just in the council. That's the correct picture. But when you are talking about human rights, yes, everybody aspires to have human rights. For Zambia, it was credited with removing the defamation of the president. It's no longer in the penal code. And also the death penalty is no longer applicable. apart from court martial and all these other treason cases. So in terms of bettering the human rights, I think it should be the wish of every Zambian, wish of any government officials, that we come up with laws which will be conducive to all of us if they are not conducive. But also, people should not only demand what the state organs can do, we should also behave in the way we behave towards governance issues. So you can't demand only your rights, but you don't want the rights of another person respected.
Interesting. Let's have another paper on the screen, and soon enough we should be getting to look at the topic of discussion. We have the news diggers, and it is running with police NAB member for saying HH wants to eat Lungu's body. Okay. And another story there, Labour Commissioner orders deportation of Chinese employers who manhandled employee. And HH orders local government to lower council rates, as well as PF conversion will never happen. That's Mpakata. More of it is that Iran war could push fuel prices up. That's why is actually President Haka in the chamber. Sir George, it was just last week when you labored on trying to explain in what context Fred Membe was saying what he said.
Yeah.
And now he's been picked by the police.
Yeah, he's been picked by police, but you are innocent until proven guilty, but he's a presidential candidate. I'm sure there will be a lot of things to say. Expression, is it freedom of expression?
Yes.
Yes, but I've said after you have expressed yourself, there is another person waiting to effect certain laws and regulation. The president did meet local authorities.
Yeah.
They are the engine of development at the grassroots, and they are receiving money in terms of CDF. So, yes, council rates. There has been this complaint of having very high council rates. But we hope with the discussion, people won't be in a hurry to just talk about it now, but it should happen when there is, even after election, so that this is dealt with. Talking about Zamfresh, I'll take a different turn.
Okay.
Should we have investors in fish? Because what I know, there is a law of reservation schemes in terms of, there are certain things that Zambians can do. I mean, we have got another company running the fish business in Siavonga there.
Yeah.
A lot of Zambians.
Yes.
Yes, and we have our people. Why can't they come into business which heavy duty businesses, adding value? When a fish is growing up in Kariba, you are not adding value. Although you put vacudia and all those things. But these are not things that we can start encouraging. And yesterday I did talk about the Zambian laws are very clear. A woman should be handled by a woman. In fact, even searching at border areas, wherever point of entry, searching a woman, you can't allow a man start searching a woman like that, assaulting the woman. So the Labour Commissioner will still follow the story and find out what is it that if the recommendations are made. Maybe they can come in the next life and invest in other things rather than the fish. I know fish is important for proteins and all those things, but we should encourage ourselves in reservation schemes under the Economic Empowerment Commission?
CEC,
yes, as Zambians we go into fish. The problem that we have is that our friends take advantage of this. You may find a person from China selling roasted maize and you'll be laughing, but the guy is making money because you don't want to go into that kind of business. But also the authorities should look at what is it that can be publicized as reservation schemes, reservation businesses, so that if we can't have fish, the authorities are able to tell Zambians, it's because you are not growing fish. It's a business. I remember at State House, the former president used to keep fish. We hope that fish pond is still there, and we can go and get something.
Indeed. Do you have more papers on the screen, and we so that we continue with conversations at 1? Remember, as you get to enjoy your lunch, you are free to call in or leave us a message on the number that is on your screen, an SMS rather, and also on Facebook. Then we have another paper on the screen quick enough. Let's see what stories we're running with. Times of Zambia is running with 1,832 councillors in those HH. Cites good leadership and need for continuity, as well as Ichilema calls for Middle East ceasefire. So Chilamumbe Road also is being quoted in that particular story. We're not for sure what happened there. But, Sir George, I'm going to ask you this same question that we asked our previous guests on the Spotlight, Honorable Mngandu. These endorsements, are they genuine, Sir George? 1,800 plus councillors have endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema.
Well, the newspaper has written. I am not in their editorial team. But what I can tell you is it's very difficult because I saw a story on social media just today. One of the councillors saying, I came to Lusaka for the meeting, but I'm not part and parcel of the endorsement. So it's very difficult. But when the majority are endorsing, then you remove the numbers. You can say majority councillors endorse HH or endorse somebody. You see, when I was a young reporter, numbers, in fact, even defections, my editors used to tell me, no, don't put numbers. 1,000 people have defected. You see, yes, you are trying to impress the person you are writing about. If it's the opposition, they are saying, oh, we have received from UPND, and then you write. Then after the story comes out, and then you go and tell, Maonaka story, but 300 people.
Getting back to the ground, very good, 21,000.
I can tell you this because in 2021, we had 16 presidential candidates. That's how numbers, even if numbers don't lie, that's how numbers lie. You are a presidential candidate. You need 100 supporters from each of the provinces. But now, when it comes to counting of ballot papers, you just hear zero. So what were the endorsement all about? But it's good for politics and all those things, and to boost the morale of politicians. But again, it's up to the editorial team to decide, because that story, in terms of writing, the reporter is going to write the story, the editor is going to edit. But what happens after the reporter has gone, it's the sub-editor, which story is attractive in terms of the headlines, so that tomorrow people can actually buy the newspaper.
Interesting. At this point, we go straight into looking at the topic of discussion, or the topic that is on your screen this afternoon. I can see people want to engage, but we should be picking your calls soon enough. But leave us just a text. We're also taking note of those SMSs this afternoon. So, George, let's start with the SPV strategy, the special purpose vehicle. And we are saying, yesterday, as of today, a communique has been issued. Dr. Chris Zumanzimba says FDD is now the special purpose vehicle. In layman's terms, what does this mean for the identity of the FDD?
The identity of the FDD at the moment, it carries on board politicians, for example, those coming from the PF, and those coming from other political parties. If they want to contest elections in August 2026, which means all of them should abandon, if that is their wish, They can't contest as alliance because it's not a registered political party. But they move from their various political parties to stand on the FDD vehicle, so to say, so that as you go for nomination, you can actually say, I'm an FDD member. So I've come. My president is Mundubile. My MP, that is if you are standing as a councillor or mayor. Yeah. We are all aligned to one political party. That is FDD. Yeah.
Indeed. And let's look at the Mundubile factor as well as BM8. The communique says BM8 and ECL-PF movement will share the alliance structures at all levels. Now, if Mundubile's team, Sir George, is running the structures and they are using FDD certificate, who really owns the party? Has Chifumu Banda effectively signed over the FDD to Brian Mundubile?
That is the implication which will come in. Mr. Chifumu Banda is expected to convince members of the FDD that actually tizapezana na mabosses wanyu at this particular moment. That is, if it's at presidential level, then Mr. Brian Mundubile is going to chair. If it's at the district, going down to the provincial, it's another person from the Tonse Alliance who is going to chair. Since it's Mr. Brian Mundubile picking people in terms of structures, we may see some of the people who are in PF taking over structures. Basically, that is what it means.
It is. And leave us also a comment, and we want to hear your thoughts regarding what we're looking at. But, Sir George, they are calling for other parties to apply as Plan Bs, special purpose vehicles. Does this show confidence, or are they terrified that the Registrar of Societies might come for the FDD next?
When I was reading the statement or the communique from Dr. Zumani, Zimba, I quickly went to look for the FDD constitution. And I can tell you, if somebody has got that document, please send it to me, I read it. One thing that people should be wary about, or members who are joining FDD, and this is not to drive fear in them. If the Tonse Alliance is going to do anything illegal in terms of fusing members into FDD, we don't know what the FDD members are thinking. Because if there are no elections, people just take over structures, anyone can go to court. Article 60 of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia actually commands party members to challenge certain decisions of the party if you make them without consultation. So unless FDD is quiet about it, unless no member is trying to challenge the FDD, then they are good to go. Yeah.
Indeed. Now, applications are open, Sir George, March 9th, as well as grade 12 certificates, ZRA clearance, the whole 9 yards. Now, with the alliance harmonizing structures, are we about to see a mass exodus of candidates from other parties into the new FDD or Tonse hybrid?
First of all, I would like to commend the Tonse Alliance. They look organized. They are talking about people applying in whichever position they want to contest, that is MP, councillors and mayors. That shows that they are a step ahead in terms of organizing themselves if you are going to have application by March 9. So we can only wish those who are going to cross over to the FDD or Tonse Alliance to get ready, because what they are talking about are the qualifications for a person to stand. You don't have tax clearance, you don't have your grade 12 certificate, you fall off. You can't organize 20 women in terms of those who are going to come in as a proportional representation. You don't have 15 youths, you don't have 5. That is at national level, people living with disabilities, then you fall off. So I love the preparation that Mr. Zumani is putting into the structures. And we can only wait until March 9 to see who goes with the Tonse Alliance and the special purpose vehicle of FDD. Or there are some members of the alliance who would say, no, we are not going to contest using the FDD, we will use our own symbols.
Interesting. This is Conversations at 1. In case you're joining us, we are looking at that particular, screaming topic of discussion on your screen. So leave us a comment, text us or call us, or we are taking note also of the SMSs that we are receiving. Let's go straight into seeing some of the messages that you people at home are sending us this afternoon. We do have our first SMS, which says, I'm disappointed for our PF MPs if they are endorsing HH genuine. Let's come together as one, children of our late fathers, Michael Chilfesata and Edgar Chagwalungu. Although HH do some exciting things to the country, you can't go all to him. It's a shame as a strong opposition to defect because of one or two things. That's by Jay Luzon. Okay, thank you so much, Jay. We do appreciate for that. Let's see more text on the screen this afternoon. Keep those SMSs coming as well. We appreciate. This one says, good afternoon, Crown TV. Crown TV crew, have a productive year. Banda Kings, Lukulu, land of plenty. Thank you so much. Good to know that Lukulu is watching, land of plenty. We should visit the land of plenty.
And eat.
And eat. This one says, is Fred Membe normal to blame HH for Lungu's burial delay? Instead of blaming the Lungu family and some selfish individuals in PF, Membe is busy attacking HH over the burial. Membe must have been eating dead bodies for him to accuse HH of trying to eat ECL body. Membe himself should be investigated thoroughly for eating dead bodies. DK in Chongwe. All right. And the text also continues, the opposition are not serious at all. They don't know what they want apart from being called President of Zambia. As far as I'm concerned, the current opposition we have in Zambia are the worst and most disorganized since independence. It's going to be a walkover victory for HH and UPND. Those Chinese who tortured a Zambian lady must be punished. In Zambia, we have a problem. We entertain foreigners, Chinese and Rwandanese too much in their countries. You cannot even stay freely for 2 days. DK in Chongwe again. Thank you so much. We appreciate for those texts. DK, and let's be a bit more polite as well. Let's see more text on the screen. So it says, oh yes, FDD is for grabs as it has already given it to Mundubile. MK Mulowezi, thanks so much, MK. We appreciate for that text. This is Conversation at 1. Be part of the conversation. This one says, afternoon Chimba, as well as Dr. Chomba. Mundubile to lead FDD, looking forward for this year election. Vachomba, what about the Luminda faction? Who is the president, Vachomba? Chingandopu watching from Nampundo. Thank you so much. We appreciate Vandopu.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
At the moment, we don't know because they were supposed to have a convention on Saturday, which never took place. Yeah. We are waiting for a statement from the Luvinda camp to find out the way forward.
Indeed. Let's have another text on the screen. See what people are sending us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Crown TV. FDD died with its founder, General Tembo. May so rest in peace. Whatever is happening with it now adds up to nothing. It had a chance of getting back during Mama Nawakwi's time. May her soul rest in peace too. But what Mr. Banda is doing now is actually finishing it completely. VJ in Eastern Zambia, Katete in particular. Thank you so much, VJ. We appreciate for your contribution or adding a voice as well. Good afternoon, Sir George and Alfred, who is refusing to bury ECL. Is it Miti or it's Makebi and ECL's family? Leave Miti alone. They are busy fighting for positions in their party. What a shame on them. There's no name there. We take note. Thank you so much. We appreciate as well for adding a voice this particular afternoon. The topic is on your screen. It is reflecting, and we want to hear your thought. There is no way just one particular family can be more important than the entire Zambian families. No way. Zambia is bigger than anyone. So even Sumaili saw his body. Nothing special. Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate for that. Well, we are picking your text. Soon enough, we should also be accommodating your calls. Good afternoon. Unity is possible, but the tribal grouping that is happening is not good. Every wise and peaceful Zambian has seen this, where the opposition has united to start defaming the presidency. Okay. No name, we appreciate as well for adding a voice. And we are asking, has Chifumu Banda given FD to Mundubile? What is your take? This one says, good afternoon, Alfred and Mr. George Chomba. Happy new month, watching from Ibex, Nelly Jane. Thank you so much, Nelly. And good to know that you're glued to Crown TV. Luminda is just a frustrated man. HH has nothing to do with the arrest of Membe. That's Sanga in Ijoma. Thank you so much, Sanga. We appreciate for your contribution as well. Okay, we're taking note of the SMSs. This one says these PF split factions and alliances joined by FDD as a convener belt mean nothing as long as they have different constitutions and manifestos. The truth is, whichever party joins hands with the condemned PF, it will go down together. Chifumu Banda must be aware of this, as for present burial being politicized by people like Membe, or past presidents, including those who lost immunity, were given state funerals and Zambians accepted. What about President Lungu? Zambian voters want his body against a family of 5. PN senior citizen in Livingstone. All right, thank you so much for that. We appreciate, and soon enough we should be accommodating your cause. All right, let's go straight into picking your cause and hear your thoughts regarding what you're looking at, and the stories that we did display in different newspapers, and the number is on your screen. Let's accommodate our first caller this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Moses. Achomba machomatian.
Tilibwino valitiani veve.
Yeah, tilipawe councillors endorsing all those. That number is too big. I think that headline should not be taken seriously, especially by the ruling party, because it's not possible that all those councillors can endorse our current president. It's not, in a democracy, it's not possible. So I think someone was just trying to excite the UPND camp, and such things, must not be taken seriously. As I go quickly, suppose Chomba Mundubile win under FDD as the president. Then you have some officials FDD decide kuyamba Sankara Okadi in the constitution ya Mzambia ni yakuti the winner takes it all. Vaja wa FDD kushe walinayo mpamvu ya kuwachita withdraw wa Mundubile pa ticket pao pa jama menelili ya South Africa utuka lakwa as a president NCC ngakuchite withdraw. Do we have such in the constitution? We are listening.
Okay, thank you so much. Take note of that, Sir George. Good afternoon.
Alfred, Mr. Chomba.
Good afternoon.
This is Alfred, the community governance expert,
Yes.
communication expert, business development expert. I'm calling from within Lusaka.
Yes, Mr. Alfred.
The issue of Chifumu Banda and the Tonse Alliance, Mundubile issues, I think for me, it doesn't help in any way. Why am I saying so? These agreements, which doesn't pay any dividend, they are very difficult. From the onset, the way they started, they were together. We saw the camp of Luminda splitting. It is confusion already. You hear Zuman saying something else, KBF also saying something else. Chifumu Banda, he was with the camp in Chawama. This time around, is with Mundubile. You see that one? All those things which I'm talking about, they are confusion on its own. Therefore, I'm just urging the opposition to sober up, because for me, I'm worried time is already gone.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Yes, your name?
Matoke.
Mr. Matoka, yes. Quick take.
Mr. Chumba, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let me say all of you good afternoon.
Sure.
The only thing which I can say, let me speak for our President Mende. What he did, it was not good. That man is odd. If the people can teach how these young guys who are coming, how to stay. But what he did, even that talking, you want to eat that nonsense, there is no one who can eat the body for somebody. So him is older than some of the people. He's the one who can maybe think for other people to say, let us come together. We see what we can do for former president. Let us call the president and we tell him, no, let us go and talk to this Inanka to be like an advisor. But what he was talking, that is not good for the Zambian. That is not a good thing.
All right.
Coming to the Mundubile, let them talk properly. We want the opposition. Let them talk properly, because what you are saying, Mr. Chomba, it is true. If the FDD people, they can come and say, now people get fiance, again.
Okay.
That is not a good thing. We want them to come together because we want also people who can assist the ruling.
All right.
Thank you very much. May God be with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Your name?
Mine Bachpara.
Bachpala. Yes.
And that mina ko kabwe. Rachomba balishani.
Awe ndife bwino balishani mukwaye.
Awe ndife bwino bakaramba ba gudu analisa uli bakalimwe. Ukulingana lyaba Mundubile apate kweba tyonishi bachuinga FDD babasalire fye nga filiafini ba tabali abene ba UPND na bena balisa nga fe UPND efe yaba mapate nombe kye ipancha kweba tinga washara na pate bala bakwati ni fye kitabane basimumba bala pango tumisango to pusana ko efisa mukuvipa nomba pate nga washara na yena mone fiba kitire PF naba bayona ula kuli ba UPND so kirate kisuma iyo so nangu fifulo kuti bachafine ba UPND ba UPND bali bamwala yansi bali pere fifulo bali abambye bana bena mwala yansi kirakira bafebu lero kwisa ku mfwa yabarungu bamembe kuti bafulwa mwamona ishitayalepa bachumba bakalamba nangu ni mwevo kuti mwafula kwena abafyashi baikala mumocha alifye kwena fye 9 months or fye 2 months 3 months fye kuti umuntu wafula ngana mkwata masapota palasi kuti bashikwa bae banomba ule waka kafira panto abalengani ba president bayata baitore fya ba family kukoti
Thank you so much. We appreciate
it. Twashika bena nga chakwa fati bali kwa techifushi wa president bafume mu vyo ko bati yemo shikeni.
All right.
Thank
you so much, Chipala. We appreciate. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Your name and your submission.
Yeah, my submission first of all on the endorsement. Well, I don't care about those endorsements. But my interest is let Zambians who voted for President Hakainde Hichilema, the 2.8. Make sure that they convince other voters to join them in defending his presidency. Because President Hakainde Hichilema is the president because of us. Since he became the president, he has only served our interests and not the interests of himself or his own family members.
Okay.
So those of us who made him the president, we should defend him from these perceived enemies. To proclaim the enemies by attracting 3 or 2 more people to join us, so that if instead of 2.8, it should be above 6 million voters for President Hakainde come 13th August. With regard to Membe, but Membe I think should blame himself.
he knows that in Africa, what he said is not allowed. President HH has never said he wants to handle the body himself. He has never said he wants to bury the body himself. That it's the public outcry, that forced the government to intervene. And even the South African government were not ready. And the Republic of South Africa were not ready to have Urungu buried in South Africa. So because of that, these two governments moved on to stop that, so that the public interest can be what? Can be satisfied. Now to personally attack President Hakainde Hichilema for such, I think it's very unfair. And in fact, in traditionally, can we use the dead person to seek sympathy?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Wanongi.
So what he did was unbiblical, not even supported by any culture and traditions, and those who want to use the dead, biblically they are cursed.
Okay.
Who want to use the scripture says, woe to someone who would want to believe in the authority of the dead. So should we allow that in the Christian nation? The answer is no. Should blame himself. Whatever happens to him, it is him. Something like that.
Okay.
I think Mr. Chomba knows better.
Thank you so much,
Mr.
Thank you. We appreciate for you adding a voice as well. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello. Okay, we seem not to. Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Your name?
My name is Solomon. I'm calling from Chirondo.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chomba.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. My submission is on the arrest of Mr. Membe. Mr. Membe was wrong in the first place to say, does he want to eat the body? We don't practice cannibalism in Zambia, no. It was wrong. I don't know what he was trying to. He was trying to maybe to resuscitate his political career, which is not growing but going down. Adults are supposed to lead by example. He's a leader who should have also at least managed his words. What should I say in this interview? The biggest challenge which is there is that even some journalists, they should also practice. I don't know if there is fear when you bring somebody, when you host somebody who's not telling the truth. You allow them to go with it and challenge. And people will move with that such narratives. When something has been said and there's no one who has curtailed it, we'll move with it, and people will say, by church, such things are not allowed.
Okay.
So let the due course of the law take precedence. Let them, Mr. Membe, explain to the country who eats the body, who eats a human being in Zambia.
Thank you so much.
Let's just be careful with what we say towards one another. It is just politics. Life must continue. Let's just exchange on ideas, not trying to destroy the person of someone. The government is the government of the Republic of Zambia that is in court, not Mr. Hakainde Hichilema.
Okay.
Mr. Hakainde Hichilema.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we need to accommodate 2 more calls and then we proceed. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Good afternoon.
Hello?
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 Yes, your name?
Voice of myself, Mudwapula.
Yes.
Mwense.
Yeah, therefore, Kulandesi, I want to let them read I want to come for Yavalungu. The Kobati president for Sashika Valungu, Valunga require unity. For Sashika Valungu from Zambia, former Zambians. So I want to let them read I want to put the president of Frida Kuchita, Osangwa Patch, Kuma Patch to Michavalungu. Bushanga Ngabati state funeral. Abafiro kuchita anani kandi banani. President HH ni commander in chief. So why banamukanisha kusanga pachitombi chabalungu? Because ila 21 gun salute abakashitana ni kandi banani.
Okay.
So sometimes to rush time siridi abantu because fileta yanda ba membe na bari kwata fie urupato fie na HH. Because if into much to the sharp. Turasha tomando akweba tio pantuleteka wamsango shani if you not to amana to ambu kuna bafinga wanda apakuma skuru so turasha misiridi cyalo kweba tio nisho bayeche bashupi ko kama pachumi cy'abantu wawe uri muntu afona immunity iya kino cyaro because I take it kino cyaro for 7 years So avena zina firo mpero mchishinga former head of state. So please mwema callers lekeni kusitamisiribi abantu lekeni ifundirika bombe for file abomba because if we nemukisa aruka palasti.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I have to cut you due to time. And our last caller this afternoon as we continue with conversations at 1. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chimba. Good afternoon, Mr. Joe Chomba.
Good afternoon.
This is Mr. Sondash from Freda.
Mr. Sondash, yes. Your quick take?
I think my take would be also on Dr. Membe. You know, if you recall from the past, all the past governments have taken the late president's families to court. It started from KK because they established that embassy pass to ban the president. So you can imagine if HH did not take, or the government did not take that step to take the long family to court. Some people would have actually boomeranged to say, you see, all these other governments were concerned and they convinced the families and they took the case to court and all the presidents were buried there. But him, since it didn't want Lungu, so Lungu is now buried somewhere else.
Okay.
So what the government did is what other presidents or other governments have done. So for Mr. Membe to be personal, is the one who actually, in fact, is the one who is supposed to educate others. Because he was there when these things, when they given Rubinda took Kaunda's family to court.
Okay.
They were in government, but now how should they return? Why should Rubinda return and say, no.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I have to cut you due to time. So, George, that was that question that was raised by a caller to say if yes, Mundubile pushed through, and of course is given all the powers, and then he changes his mind to say, okay, I just want to run with the people that I came from, or I came with from my party, the Party Front. How does it leave those that he finds there? Is there such a chance? Can that happen? That was a question from that caller.
The constitution of Zambia is very powerful. And once the president says, I will defend the constitution, he looks at the provisions that ministers will come from members of parliament. So he has the right to decide whether you want FDD members he found or to bypass them. But the only thing that he can't bypass is the running mate who becomes the vice president and leader of government business in parliament. So we would look at the person, and already there is a little bit, I don't know if I can say confusion. Mr. Mundubile, instead of saying Chifumu Banda is coming as my running mate, he has invited Mr. Makebi Zulu, which is interesting. But all in all, what I can tell you is the right for the president at the moment to pick ministers, to make appointments. The president doesn't consult unless he wants to consult. Okay. That's the way it is. And if you are left out, you can only remain disappointed and not demand that can we. And in terms of withdrawing, like the case is in South Africa, there is no such provision. The only provision which is there is to impeach. And you should have, according to this constitution, you should have valid reasons, because the constitution of the Republic of Zambia allows a president to defend himself if there is an impeachment motion. So first of all, you raise a quota of members of parliament supported, then you are going to need 2/3 majority in parliament. And as we speak now, after the elections, with the increase of 70 new constituencies and also 40, 20 women, 15 youth, you need about 195, somewhere there, as 2/3 majority in parliament. At the moment, to raise a motion, you only needed about 55. And also you needed the majority, which could have been 115 members of parliament. Now we have gone to raise about 90 members of parliament to support your motion, and 195. Well, Tigaliko.
Indeed. All right, on that note, we come to a wrap